Hey guys, welcome back to Foreign Reacts. Today we're going to be checking out a video titled Americans Living Abroad. First time you realize America really messed you up. Should be a very interesting video, but it's 13 minutes, 30 seconds long, and it seems to be related to people telling their stories through TikTok. So we're going to be checking that out right now. So first of all, if you're new to Foreign Reacts, please join the family here at Foreign Reacts, where we only do foreign reactions. Anything that is foreign to the reactor, which that is what I am today, that's what we do here. That's the type of reactions that we do here. I also would like to recommend you guys to a sports channel. If you guys are interested in any sports at all, go to this channel. It's called Sports Feedback. We also do sports reactions, only sports reactions. You can see a clip right here. That's what he looked like? Yo, bro, you can drive. And I'm pretty sure you guys will not regret subscribing to that channel. But either ways, we're going to be doing this video right now. And I just want to give this comment shout out right here. It's a shout out to Helen. I hope I'm saying that correctly. You guys will see a pop-up on the screen, likely on this side of the screen. This person said, I love your videos. I'm from Europe, but I'm learning a lot of weird stuff from your reactions. And you are so good in doing this. I love when you say bro. Bro, this is a really amazing comment, and I promised it would have been in a future video. So this is a video that I chose this to be in. So shout out to you guys. Either ways, guys, this was a long intro. Let's get right into this reaction video.
What is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
It's not current, but when I was studying in the UK, one day I really needed to see a doctor. But I didn't know how to access care. I didn't know what my insurance situation was like, so I just went to work. And eventually I was in so much pain that I burst into tears, and my boss pulled me aside. And he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I really need to see a doctor, but I don't know how to access care here. I don't know if I can afford it." And he was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Go down the street to the hospital." And I argued with him, and he was like, "No, just trust me. Just go to the hospital." So I went, and I was like clutching my like student ID in my hand, my passport, and I was like trying to remember how much I had in my bank account, like checking. And I got called back to the doctor. He was like, "Yep, this is what's wrong with you. Pick up your prescription on the way out." And I was like, "I'm sorry, do you know how much it's gonna be?" And he said, "I don't know, maybe 8 pounds." I was like, "I'm sorry, 8? He was like, "Yeah, I don't think it's ever more than that." The receptionist kept laughing at me because I didn't feel comfortable leaving without paying somebody, and I kept asking if I owed anybody any money.
If you're an American currently living abroad,
I gotta experience this for myself. I don't know. Is it true? Like, I gotta experience this for myself where I pull up to somebody. Like, I do have something that I'm currently going to work on. Playing basketball, I injured myself, and it's been a couple years since I've actually injured myself, and I've not tried to actually, solve the issue with my wrist. And I'm going to see if I'm going to see what they're going to do when I pull up to get an x-ray to make sure that what I think it is what it is. And I'm going to see what's going to happen. I don't know what country in Europe I'm going to do this with, but I'm going to see, because I got to experience this for myself, bro.
What is one time that made you realize?
I am back for round 2 on this one. So I just moved to Italy with my boyfriend, who is Italian. We're watching a movie the other day where somebody is running away and they get shot. And I'm like, you know what? That's their fault. They didn't run in a zigzag. That's like the first thing they teach you, to run in a zigzag if somebody's pointing a gun at you. He pauses the movie and he looks at me and he goes, "Who taught you that?" And I'm like, like teachers, adults, parents, like they teach you when you're young to run in a zigzag if somebody is pointing a gun at you.
Right.
The sinking feeling I had when I realized that nobody ever had to teach him that when he was young, because that's not a problem here.
And currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
Oh, I've got a couple. So I'm from Los Angeles and now I live in Austria. And basically when I first started working here, they were like, you get 25 days vacation, Fridays off early, and if you're sick, don't come into work. And I was just like, I was floored. Because in the US, you only get 10 days vacation and like 5 sick days, and you don't get Fridays off early. You better work your ass.
And let me just add this. That's for some jobs, not all jobs that offers that. for the US. So that's a key part that she actually didn't mention. It's not every job that actually offers those things.
Until it's 9 p.m. On top of all of that, all my friends here have like 2 masters, 3 PhDs, etc., 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 because education here is actually free. Amazing. What an amazing concept. In addition, I have yet to see a large homeless community out in the open here in Austria because the government actually offers some social support. A lot of social support. In LA, you have villages, streets, blocks full of homeless people.
Right.
Because our government doesn't care about us. And here, people like don't measure their worth off the car they drive.
What is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
So I'm from LA and I moved to Singapore. And before coming here, I asked all my friends if I should bring anything like, a pepper spray just in case anything happens. And they were like, no, that's like actually illegal. I don't think that they're allowed to have any kind of weapon. And I was like, what? We literally put them in our keychains as accessories. I was like, how do you defend yourself? They were like, from what? You don't have to. It's so safe. I was like, no way. So I Googled it.
Man, they talking to cat, man. Man, I'm just over here just saying everybody just lying. You guys are lying. I gotta experience this. I've never been to Europe before, bro. Like, I literally have family in Europe, but I've never been to Europe before. And bro, I don't even believe most of these that I'm watching because it's like so good to be true. Like, that's the type of expectation you have when you've been experienced a particular type of livelihood or lifestyle. You like safety. What do you mean? What do you mean I have to carry a weapon? I know, but then you really find out that's the case. That's kind of crazy. Gotta experience this for myself, bro.
And no one is allowed to use greater force than necessary to defend themselves. What? The US can't ban guns, but Singapore can ban pepper sprays?
Wow.
Abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up? I'll go.
When I had my first child, we were stationed overseas in Germany. And at that point, I'd been a nurse for about 5 years. And I had a C-section. So day 3, after I delivered, I was packing up my stuff and getting the baby ready to go home. And the German...
Question, is the C-section like when you get your tummy? I really don't know. This is the reason why I'm happy that I'm learning a lot of stuff from Foreign Reacts, doing reactions here at Foreign Reacts, because a lot of stuff I really don't know. I will dominate the life out of most humans when it comes to things like technology, right? Or architecture. Like, I will dominate you because that's really what I'm good at. I'm very, very good at those things. But normal social stuff, I'm not very good at it.
Nurse walked in and looked at me and said, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
And I said, "Oh, I'm packing to go home." And she said, "Nine, you're not going home. You just had major surgery. We have physical therapy coming to see you. And dinner is on its way up. And if you'd like, I can call down and have them bring up some beer. But you need to rest." And I thought, yeah, I did have major surgery. I do need to rest. And they kept me for another week until I was ready to go home and I could take care of everything on my own.
If you're an American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up? I'll go first. I live in Warsaw, Poland now, but I always stay in touch with what's happening in the US, and I happened to hear about that Las Vegas shooting when someone opened fire on a bunch of concert goers. And it was very tragic news, but that day I also went to the movies, so I was already in a kind of weird mental state. And when I left the movies, I got on the tram again in Warsaw, and I saw this guy kind of being sketchy and acting weird in the last seat. I kept eyeing him the whole time, and he had his jacket open and he was holding something inside. He was hiding it. And I thought, my first American thought was, it's a gun or a knife or some kind of weapon, and I need to move away as soon as possible.
Bro, let me tell you straight up. Like, most of y'all don't even know what happens really in America. Like, America is not a safe place, period. And I'm saying that with all my love for America. America is not a safe place. And there are a lot of psychos. Like, for instance, you could take the New York train. Like, if you go to New York and you, like, without the COVID and everything, bro, I'm telling you, there are a lot of crazy stuff that goes on. You just have a random guy walking around with a long ass sword. He just chops your neck right off. I'm dead ass. I'm telling you guys facts, right? But It's not an everyday thing, but when it happens, it happens. And it's not the most safe place. I'm telling you that. It is far from the most safe place. Like, there are a lot of places in America that are considered safer, but you still could get robbed, killed. Even the famous Beverly Hills. You know how many people come to LA and they're like, bro, this is LA. I can chill. No, you can't chill. It's one of the places where you get robbed easily. So easily, right? So a lot of people don't really know that, but it ain't safe in America, period. Not even close. You can be safe based off of your kind of lifestyle, the type of lifestyle that you live, but it's not safe.
So I kept looking at him the whole ride, and then he takes it out, and it was a beer can. He was sipping it and hiding it during the tram ride. That's what happens in Poland. Not guns, not knives. And I started crying and laughing at the same time because that's when I realized, wow, that's messed up. If you're an American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really...
So I can make like 200 of these, but I'll just talk about the first time I realized how fucked up the US is, which was in the first week that I got to Sweden, when my boyfriend's family told me that I need to make sure I get insured, and that I get insurance for everything I own, my laptop, my bike, my apartment, my whole body. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's so expensive. Like, I'm already super in debt with student loans, so no. But I asked out of curiosity, just like how much it was going to cost. $100 a year to insure everything I have. For reference, like the average American person spends $456 a month just on health insurance. Just for healthcare. That doesn't include cars or home insurance.
$100.
American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
So I live in Paris, and 2 months ago I got hit by a taxi relatively hard. I fell down on the street. All these people came and they picked me up. They brought me over to a bench. This woman from a restaurant brought me a glass of water. Another woman gave me a handful of coins, and I was like, I don't need your money. It's okay. And she was like, sweetheart, this is your money. It fell out of your pockets when you got hit by the taxi. And I was like, Sonic the Hedgehog vibes, great. The man who hits me goes to call the ambulance, and I said, stop. Do not call the ambulance. That will cost me $3,000 to $5,000 because that's what an ambulance costs in America. And he was like, what are you talking about? An ambulance is €7. I was like, oh my God. Remind me to twist my ankle on the way home from the club, and they'll give me an IV so I won't be hungover the next day? Catch me at the hospital. This is lit.
If you're an American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really...
So my first year here in Paris, I was an au pair, and I got really sick during the winter. It was bronchitis, and I couldn't breathe. I was coughing a lot. I was trying to avoid going to the emergency room as much as possible because in the US it's very, very expensive. But there was one night where I really couldn't hold out any longer, so I drove to the emergency room. And when I was there, they gave me a nebulizer, and then they wanted to give me chest x-rays. And I was like, listen, can we please not do the chest x-rays? I'm fine, let's just go. And the doctor looked at me and she was like, why don't you want to do these? You have to do them, you could have damage. And I said, well, I don't have any money, I'm not going to be able to afford it. And she looked at me and she was like, it's covered with Social Security. So I was like, oh, okay. And then instead of having to book a whole another appointment and wait forever for the results, we walked down the hall, we took the chest x-rays, I had the results in 5 minutes. I paid €12 and then I was reimbursed 3 days later.
American currently living abroad.
See, I gotta experience that for myself, bro. Like, all these people probably just some like human animated bots or something like that. I don't know, bro. I gotta experience that for myself. I gotta see it with my 2 eyes. They like, nah, you good, bro. You ain't gotta pay. I'm like, what? What you good? You for real? Nah, you lying to me. That's kind of crazy though. It kind of brings tears to my eyes because it's just wild. It's just wild.
One time that made you realize that America really messed you up.
That's good.
So I started my new job in the Netherlands. This was 3 years ago, and I was going through the company policy the first week. And I got to the section about leave, and they have a holiday leave, like PTO, and then they had sick leave in 2 different areas. And I was reading about sick leave, and I turned to my coworker, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, it talks about like the requirements for sick leave and like doctor notes like after 3 days, but how many sick days do we get a year? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, how many are there? It doesn't say. She's like, it's just if you're sick, you're out. I'm like, I don't understand. She's like, it's unlimited. It's just, if you're sick, you take a sick day. She was confused. I was shocked. There's a moment I realized we're fucked up in America and how we deal with people being sick with work.
Yeah.
If you're an
And
American,
even that part, like my video is so long, bro. And even that part, it's not really America who is the fault. It's really well, I'm gonna blame it on the government system not implementing that, but also it's the people who you're working for. Not some of them will give you nice benefits, but like I said, for these people, it's not even benefits. That's the wildest part. But you know, it's really the businesses in America. They're greedy, very greedy.
currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really...
Yeah, so this one hit me pretty hard. It was one of the first dates I ever had in Germany with my boyfriend, and he wanted to take me on a nature walk. Well, it was a beautiful day, and we went on this beautiful trail, but it ended out leading up to somebody's field, like a farmer's field, and I absolutely wanted nothing to do with that. I said, nope, that's it, we're going home, I'm not doing that, and he kind of was persistent and saying, like, why? And I was like, are you crazy? They're gonna shoot us. I was pretty new to Germany.
This one is relatable, bro. Okay. And I don't know much about any other state, but for South Carolina, bro, you will literally be walking in your own community and you're going to see signs saying no trespassing. Bro, you will get shot. So I can understand from her perspective why she would be like, yeah, we going to turn back because I'm not going to try to get shotgun today. That is a real thing that will happen in America. Nothing ain't coming out of that because you're on their property. And that's facts. So, yeah. This one is relatable.
So I didn't really understand how things worked yet. But I did grow up in rural Western New York, where if you trespass on somebody's property, their woods or their field, there's a good chance that you'd be shot and killed. My next door neighbors would get blackout drunk and then start shooting off their back porch into the random wilderness. And he stopped me and said, nobody shoots trespassers here, why would they do that? Even if they're trespassing, like, that's so overdramatic. And it hit me how normalized that was for me growing up, that I could potentially die going for a walk.
Currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
Here's a fun one. So I'm teaching 3rd grade in Thailand, right? And it's sports day. Kids running around, screaming, having fun, as kids do. And I hear a bang. Instantly, my heart drops into my stomach, my entire body tenses, my adrenaline starts pumping, and I'm looking around for the shooter. And then I realize I'm in Thailand, and people don't have guns, and they don't shoot children at their school. It was a balloon. A balloon popped.
Dang.
Fuck you, America.
No, don't say that. That's not nice. But for real though, in America, if you hear a pop, you're gonna be thinking it's somebody getting shot. I remember one time, like about last year, this time I was in Florida and I heard fireworks going off, and I'm used to it more with South Carolina with the fireworks. I'm used to that. But in Florida, where I was not necessarily a part where it's like a lot of beach. No, it was really just like, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it so you guys could get it. But the point is, it's a really new area. It's like really being built now. It's like a new area with community and whatever, where apartments, blah, 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 right? And I heard the fireworks going off, and the first thing I thought would have been somebody got shot. But the continuation, it continuing, I was like, okay, it's fireworks. Then I saw it going up, so I was like, all right, I bet we're good. But the truth is, I can actually understand and relate to the ones about shooting because it's a real thing in America. But the other ones about healthcare, I got to experience that for myself, bro. Like, that's wild.
American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
So I grew up in southern Indiana.
All right.
And I moved to London, England.
Right.
So I just moved to England and, I made a lot of new friends. So I go to a party, this was like 3 years ago. And let's say one of my friends he drank too much water. And, all my friends were taking care of him, including myself. And all of a sudden, one of them goes, hey, we got to call an ambulance. And I was like, no, dude, like, do you know how much money that costs? Like, he just drank too much water. He's going to be fine. And right when I said that, everyone looked at me and said, mate, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about, man?
And I was like, dude, the ambulance is going to cost like $3,000. And that was the moment I realized that England had free healthcare.
American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
Hi. So I've been living in Spain for about 11 years, and this happened like 11 years ago. It was my first time going to the emergency room, and when, stomach problems, whatever, couldn't stop throwing up.
Ouch.
And I go in, give the girl at the front desk my ID and my debit card. And she takes my ID, checks me in, hands both cards back to me. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I give the debit card, I pay at the end. So I go in, everything, give me medicine, and I go back out. I stop at the front desk again, and I was like, hi, I'm leaving. Here's my debit card. And she just looks at me and she's like, I don't know why you keep giving
No,
this.
I'm actually here in shock. Like, why are you giving your debit card and you weren't requested? No one requested your debit card. Why are you giving it? So I don't know why she did that. Like, I don't know, where do you go and you automatically give your debit card without even knowing the transactions? No. I can understand you asking, like, okay, when do I pay or something like that, but to just hand over your debit card, bro, that's wild. No, I'm probably a very secure person, so I'm not gonna just hand over anything that I own unless it is requested or required of me, right? And I was told that. I'm not even gonna give you my ID. No, you gotta tell me that you need my ID to get my ID. Get what I mean?
To me, you don't need to give me your debit card. I don't get it. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to pay for health services, even in a private hospital.
Private hospital?
Tell me you've been single a long time without telling me you've been single a long time.
When people ask if I'm in a relationship with anyone.
Oh, okay, those are previous videos. All right, guys, that was a really beautiful video. I cannot lie to you guys, that was really beautiful. But either way, guys, smash that like button and subscribe. This was a very, very lengthy video, but it was really enjoyable and entertaining. If you have any suggestions, leave those in the comment section down below. As usual, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.